Imagine finding your dream home, a beautiful house in a perfect neighborhood, the kind of place you've always wanted to raise your family. You close the deal, you're excited, you can't wait to move in. But then a letter arrives. It's not a welcome to the neighborhood note. It's something far more sinister. The letter starts with a chilling line. My grandfather watched the house in the 1920s, and my father watched in the 1960s. It is now my time. This isn't the plot of a horror movie. It's the real-life nightmare that befell the Broadus family at 657 Boulevard in Westfield, New Jersey. This is the story of The Watcher, a mysterious and terrifying saga that began in June 2014. Derek and Maria Broadus had just purchased their 6-bedroom dream home for over $1.3 million. They were renovating it, preparing for a new chapter with their 3 young children. Before they even moved in, the first letter arrived, addressed to the new owner. The author claimed to be the house's new guardian, someone entrusted with watching it, waiting for its second coming. The letter was disturbingly specific, mentioning the Broadus' children, referring to them as young blood. The writer asked, "Have they found what is in the walls yet? And I am pleased to know your names and the names of the young blood you have brought to me." As you can imagine, the family was terrified. They immediately went to the police. Who was this person? A prankster? A disgruntled neighbor? Or something far more dangerous? The letter wasn't signed with a name, only with the ominous moniker, The Watcher. The Broaduses, now paralyzed with fear, decided to halt their move-in plans. Their dream home had turned into a source of constant anxiety. They began to suspect everyone around them. Was it a neighbor who had been outbid for the house? Someone who resented new people moving into their quiet town? The police investigation began, but the Watcher was a ghost. Then, 2 weeks later, a second letter came. This one was even more personal and menacing. The Watcher seemed to know details about the family's lives, things that could only be known through close observation. The letter mentioned the children by their nicknames and even noted their birth order. "The house is crying from all of the pain it is going through," the letter read, referring to the renovations. "You have changed it and made it fancy. You are stealing its history. It cries for the young blood I requested." The Watcher also claimed to have seen the children. "I saw them. I see them. The house is my job, my life, my obsession. And now you are too, Broadus family." The paranoia intensified. Derek and Maria stopped bringing their children to the house altogether. The police were struggling to find any leads. They interviewed neighbors, but no one saw anything suspicious. They investigated the previous owners, the Woods family, who had also received a strange, but less threatening, letter just before they moved out, which they had dismissed as a prank. The police even considered the possibility that the Broaduses were sending the letters themselves to get out of a purchase they regretted, an accusation that deeply hurt the already traumatized family. A DNA sample was recovered from the saliva on one of the envelopes, but it didn't match anyone in the system. The profile was determined to be from a woman, which only deepened the mystery. A third letter arrived a few weeks after the second. This one was just as unsettling. "Where have you gone to?" it asked. 657 Boulevard is missing you." The Watcher seemed to be taunting them, aware that they were no longer visiting the property. The family was living a nightmare. They were paying the mortgage and taxes on a multi-million-dollar home they were too afraid to live in. Their dream had become a financial and emotional black hole. They tried to sell the house, But the story of the Watcher was now public knowledge, making a sale nearly impossible. Potential buyers would back out as soon as they learned about the terrifying letters. The Broaddus family even tried to get permission from the town to demolish the house and subdivide the lot into 2 new properties. They believed this would erase the stigma and finally end the Watcher's obsession. But the town's planning board denied their request after neighbors voiced concerns about the plan, fearing it would change the character of the neighborhood and devalue their own homes. The family felt completely abandoned and trapped. They were being terrorized by an anonymous stalker, and their own community seemed to be working against them. Desperate, the Broadduses filed a lawsuit against the previous owners, the Woods family claiming they should have disclosed the letter they had received. That lawsuit was eventually dismissed. They rented the house out, and even the renters received a new, terrifying letter from the Watcher. It was angry and threatening, promising revenge. "You are a cancer on 657 Boulevard, it said. Maybe a car accident, maybe a fire, maybe something as simple as a mild illness that never seems to go away." The letter ended with a final, chilling threat. "You wonder who the Watcher is? Turn around, idiots. Maybe you are watching me, watching the house that I am supposed to be watching. I am the Watcher. So who was the Watcher?" Over the years, many theories have been floated. Some pointed to a specific neighbor, a man whose family had lived on the boulevard for decades. His writing style and certain phrases reportedly matched the letters. The police investigated him thoroughly, even taking a DNA sample, but it wasn't a match. Other theories suggested a disgruntled former housekeeper, a real estate competitor, or even a local high school student pulling a very elaborate, cruel prank. The case became a national obsession, a modern-day ghost story wrapped in a true crime mystery. It tapped into our deepest fears about home, safety, and the idea that someone could be watching us from the shadows. Finally, after 5 years of terror and financial ruin, the Broaddus family managed to sell the house in 2019. They sold it at a significant loss, for around $959,000, about $400,000 less than they paid. They never lived in their dream home. The new owners have not reported receiving any letters, and the identity of the Watcher remains a complete mystery to this day. Was it a real threat or a master manipulator who got exactly what they wanted to drive a new family out? The Westfield Police Department insists the case is not closed, but for now, it's a chilling cold case. The story of 657 Boulevard serves as a terrifying reminder that sometimes the most unsettling monsters aren't in horror movies, but are real people living right next door. The psychological toll on the Broaddus family was immense. Their story, which was adapted into a popular streaming series, continues to fascinate and frighten people around the world. What would you have done in their situation? Could you ever feel safe in your own home again? It's a question that, thankfully, most of us will never have to answer. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as unsettling and captivating as we did, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into mysterious true stories. Hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next video. Stay safe out there.